Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching this video from. Welcome back to Two Wheels Paradise, your home of motorcycle content. My name is Meshak as usual, and here we are doing some amazing stuff to let you see how beautiful this country is when you tour on motorcycles. Have you subscribed to the channel so far? I have seen you watching my videos and I appreciate it. Please give me that gift. Hit the subscribe button and also remember the notification bell icon for you to get notified every time we upload a video. And today we have some amazing stuff, but before we get to it, I want you to know who is sponsoring the video. The video today is proudly sponsored by African Vacation Safaris. These are tour guides who will take you all the way to where you want. Some places that other tour companies don't dare, like the northeastern, these guys will take you all the way to the Ethiopia border, to Marsabit, and let you see the beauty that lies in the north. They have private safaris to Masai Mara, Amboseli Lake, Nakuru, Saburu, and other places where you can enjoy breathtaking sceneries with wildlife. They also have hiking services where they take people to Mount Kenya, to Mount Longonot, Elephant Hills, and so much more. These guys will take you to places you will never forget. They also have beach packages for Mombasa, Diani, Matamu, Warindi. So many things that these guys are going to do, and they are safe and environmentally safe and also qualified to handle you and your luggage. You can contact them on 0723 315 919. Their offices are somewhere in Ngara. Just get in touch with them and you will enjoy all what this amazing content has to offer. African Vacation Safaris, your gateway to unparalleled adventure in the heart of the world's most diverse and captivating continent called Africa. With passion for exploration and commitment to delivering extraordinary experiences, African Vacation Safaris, your trusted partner in crafting unforgettable journeys through breathtaking landscapes, culture, remarkable wildlife that Africa has to offer. Light into business. What do we have today? We are reviewing the great Haojin. Yeah, this is a bike that has been in this country for some years. And see, yeah, it's a small bike to start with. Yeah, quite not a huge bike, but this is an amazing motorcycle. Let me tell you something. For the years I've been riding motorcycles, I have tested over 20 different brands and sizes of motorcycles. And this one is amazing. To start with, it is a small bike. It's only a 200cc motorcycle, single cylinder, air cooled, carburetor, nothing complicated. Yeah, you see, the way the guy is just getting off the bike will tell you it's not a heavy bike. It's a light bike, a bike that you can take to the jungles and feel very confident that it will not break your bones. Yeah, it's a bike you can maneuver properly off-road. You see, there's a problem with huge adventure bikes. I own one. These bikes are very tricky when it gets to riding through trails. When you go to the Gong Hills, you want to go down to the bottom of the rivers, these bikes become a problem because of the weight. But Haojin 200 Hawk is not one of them, because this bike is right. It's a bike you can just strip down sandy beaches or something. The bike goes down, you can actually lift it alone. You don't even need help. It's a small bike, but it is amazing. Being small makes it a good bike for beginners and people who want to explore the jungles where they want to be alone. Yeah, if this bike goes down, you can easily lift it up. And even if it goes down, chances of you getting injured are very slim. The brakes on the front, you have a disc. But at the rear, you have drum brakes. Yes, I want you to get this. You have disc brake in the front, and in the rear, you have drum brakes. That doesn't mean this bike will not brake properly. It is not heavy. And it is not heavy only means doesn't require a lot of braking power. It is amazing. After testing it, I was able to feel that this bike can actually brake. If you get into something, you will have some good braking distance. You don't need to have a lot of power in the brakes because the bike is not heavy. Something else, the bike is not so powerful, doesn't gather a lot of speed. You know, for the huge adventure bikes, momentum becomes a problem. When you're going downhill, it is like you are on a vehicle that is driving on free wheel. The weight makes the bike heavy when it comes to stopping it. Acceleration the same way, stopping also a problem. But for Haojin Hawk 200, that problem is not there because the bike doesn't have a lot of weight. The bike uses a 21-inch front tire. 21-inch. It is the same size with the huge adventure, but the rim in Haojin Hawk is quite slim, so the tire is not the same as those big bikes. The Teneres, the Triumphs, yeah, the Honda XR 650s, the Suzuki DRs. It is not the same tire. This one uses a slimmer tire which is easily accessible. It's actually easier to get it and it is not also expensive. The rear one is 18-inch. This 21-inch and 18 makes it a good bike for off-road because you have quite some good ground clearance. The wheels are spoked. Yeah, these are good for off-road. You don't want to risk your chrome going off-road and then you jump over a lock and you crack it and then everything goes south. This bike uses tube because of that element of having spoke wheels. Tubes are good when you are going off-road. If you get a puncture, you can easily repair a tube compared to someone who is riding tubeless and you have to get a whole new tire if something busts your tire. So spoke wheels go hand in hand with the tubes. A very good one. This bike is carbureted. Doesn't have a lot of EFI stuff. Doesn't have a lot of modern lighting modes and things like that. It is just a basic single cylinder, single spark plug motorcycle. And actually, the spark plug is mounted somewhere on the side. This is a bike you can just maintain anywhere. If something goes off, you can just feed it. Maybe you go to the jungles and get some local petrol fueling stations. You get adulterated fuel or something. You can easily fix the mess by draining your carburetor and other stuff because everything is just there for you to reach with your hand. You don't have to dismount the bike for you to access the plug. You don't have to dismount the bike for you to do a lot of stuff. This is a bike that you can maintain from wherever you are. Being a single plug makes it cheaper to maintain. You only need one spark plug. One spark plug only. And because it is not a very powerful bike, it is not a performance bike, basic spark plugs are enough. Just enough. One spark plug, just enough. Suspension-wise, the bike feels good. It has a proper off-road suspension. We have seen a lot of bikes coming into the country and then they just disappear because people buy them and they get horrible experiences. And when the market starts to get information about how these bikes are horrible, nobody is going to buy them anymore. We have seen so many companies trying to sell some funny names of bikes and they just don't last long. Why? Because the quality is crappy. But for Haojin, it has been years and years, and these units are not even enough. I was in the showroom 2 weeks ago in Thika. This bike is sold by a company called Abson Motors. They have branches in Thika and I hear they also have branches at the coast. I was there personally 2 weeks ago and I could not even find one single unit of Haojin Hawk. What does it tell you? These bikes are not even enough. Yeah, people are buying them and they're experiencing very, very good bikes. Yes, I can tell you, after testing it and having some few kilometers on it, I could tell this is a bike that you can do some amazing journeys with it. And to make you know that the owner of the bike I am testing right now. Is that guy you see in front of me with my Honda? Yes, that's my Transapp. The owner of this bike is the one riding the Transapp, and this guy has been to almost every part of this country. Call it North Hall, call it Garissa, call it Marsabit, call it the coast, Baringo. This guy has been to almost every corner of this country. He is a tour guide, and this guy travels around the country on this bike, this particular unit. Yes, he has been riding this bike for like 2.5 years, and he has been to almost every part of this country. So if I tell you this bike is reliable, I'm not lying to you. This guy has first-hand experience with the reliability of this motorcycle. Performance-wise, this bike is smooth but doesn't have a lot of power. Acceleration is slow. The bike is not so powerful. Compared to my Transapp 400, you can tell this bike doesn't have a lot of power, but that is a plus. If you are a commuter, you want a bike that will take you to work and back home, sometimes take you to the villages, take you off-road, you need a bike like this one. This one is the bike that you need. It's not heavy, it's not powerful, doesn't gather a lot of speed to get you into trouble, especially if you don't have a lot of experience in riding motorcycles, and doesn't also consume a lot of fuel. That is a perfect beginner bike, a perfect commuter bike. It is easy, the gears are not difficult to change. It's a bike that you can tell being so basic means a lot of business. This one is good. Speed-wise, you don't expect a lot of speed from this bike. It is not a speed bike. This one is an off-road bike meant for beginners and people without a lot of experience, and people who do not want a lot of power and speed. What they want is adventure. Yes, what you want is adventure, what you want is traveling, then this is home. Haojin Hawk 200 will offer all that. You can expect maybe 80 to 90 kilometers an hour is good cruising speed. Good cruising speed. You can see the spark plug is just somewhere there. The carburetor is just somewhere in the open. You can just check it, you can drain it. If you get some water into it, you can get a lot of things. You can do a lot of things with it. Speed 90 to 95, maybe 100 max. Don't expect a lot of speed from this bike. It cannot even gather a lot of speed because it is light. Yes, it's a light bike, you don't expect to gather a lot of speed. But if you want a speed bike, you know where to go. If you're coming to Haojin, you're coming to Haojin so that you can do adventure. You see, this guy has mounted a huge top box, an aluminium box that he carries a lot of stuff in it. A lot of stuff in it. This bike has a small fuel tank. Look at this. That tank is small. To tell you the truth, that tank is quite small. It only carries 7.5 liters. See, it's quite a small tank. 7.5 liters. But again, 7.5 liters will take you to 250 kilometers. 250 kilometers, because this bike is giving you 30 to around 35 kilometers per liter. So with 250 kilometers, I believe you'll get a petrol station somewhere. In this country, unless some places in the northeastern, some places in North Lift, there are so many petrol stations in this country. So 250 kilometers, to me, is more than enough, because every 100 kilometers you travel, you'll get a petrol station somewhere. Consumption-wise, 30 to 35 is not bad. See, it's not bad. You can do some good mileage. 250 kilometers, yeah, you can get a petrol station somewhere. You see, if you fuel this bike with 1,000 shillings at the price of fuel right now, that we are getting almost 200 shillings, 194, 195 there, you can expect to go to your village and maybe try and also come back to Nairobi if you don't come from far. But if you're going to places like the coast, you will have to fuel at least twice. Yeah, 2 full tanks will take you all the way to Mombasa from Nairobi. Going to some places maybe in Kisii, Kisumu, you cannot consume 2 tanks. So only 1.5, maybe 1.25, you will be home. That means traveling will be cheaper and more convenient. Bikes that don't have a lot of power are so enjoyable to ride. Let me tell you, I started on 150cc back in 2012. So I know how enjoyable small bikes can be if only you understand what they are meant to do. Do not come and take the Haojin expecting to do 150 kilometers an hour. If you're looking for speed, get the right bike for that purpose. This one is for taking you off-road, taking you for a journey, and commuting to work for convenience, fuel consumption, efficiency, and so much more. So if you understand what the bike is meant to do, you will have a lot of fun with it. Overall, I feel the bike is good. Yes, it is good, and I can recommend for someone who want to start their motorcycling journey. It is good. It is enough for you to do a lot of things with it if only you understand and accept that this one is not a speed bike, this one is not a puff bike, it is not meant to chase everyone on the highway. If you understand what it is supposed to do, then this bike is the right one for you. It is easy to maintain, just a single cylinder, single plug. Air filters are just basic. Doesn't have a lot of things to change for filters, doesn't have a lot of radiators, doesn't have a lot of things to change. So there's a bike that can break down in the forest and you just get a basic mechanic from the village. They will understand what it is meant to do and they will help you. However, there are some things that should be improved in the next generation, like the headlight. I talked to 3 people who own this bike and all of them are complaining about the headlight. The fuel tank is quite small. People want to have a lot of fuel. So if that one is improved, then we are good. Do you own a Haojin and maybe you feel like there's something I have missed? Talk to me in the comments. Have you subscribed? Please give me that gift. Hit the buttons. Let's get to business. Thank you so much and see you around.